Welcome back, folks. I've got Ciaran with me again. I'm going to continue along. This time, unlike previous videos, I'm trying to do something I have not successfully done. I am going to be attempting with... Yeah, this is a solid charm build for me. I'm going to be attempting to defeat the Pantheon of the Night. The Pure Vessel, who I have reached, I have yet to beat in the Pantheon. So I could just go and fight the Pure Vessel and like practice that, but I'm gonna try and beat the Pure Vessel at the end of the Pantheon. Meanwhile, Ciaran and I are gonna discuss some potential online D&D play.
Yes. So what I am putting together is, I for one am super tired of playing in the Forgotten Realms.
Sure.
I don't have anything against the realms. I just wish more was published outside of them. So I am running a level 12 campaign in the Tal'Dorei campaign setting, which from Critical Role. I'm going to be adapting stuff from stuff that was published for the Forgotten Realms, because I'm just using modules that I already have purchased or have had interest in purchasing in the past.
Right.
I may pick up Ghosts of Saltmarsh at some point, because that looked like an excellent book.
Sounds...
Is that dead? Wow,
yeah,
that was
hitless.
I hate that guy.
This is the hard version.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like him when he was the normal version, so I imagine I won't like him much now either. So it's level 12. You get one very rare, one rare, and one uncommon magic item.
It's a pretty decent assortment of items for a level 12 character.
Yep. Of course, subject to GM approval for the items, because some things that are listed as very rare are they really should be legendary.
So some are significantly stronger than others, that's for sure. The rarity system is not a perfectly balanced system.
The Staff of Power is a lot for very rare.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I approved it in our other campaign because you took it as the only magical item you were going to have.
Yeah, that is true, I did.
And I mean, this is of a similar power level to the game we play at Deckbox.
Yeah, it is. That's true. Level 12 party compared... what ability score generation system are you doing?
I'm actually adapting what we use at Deckbox. You get to roll twice, and if you don't like either of those, then you can opt for point buy.
Okay.
Because most of my players are people who have only played AL, and I'm just kind of introducing them to homebrew at this point, so they've never had the opportunity to roll stats.
You're doing like 3x style rolling as opposed to like a 5e balanced array roll style.
4d6, drop the lowest,
yeah,
and then put them wherever the hell you want.
Yeah, so 3x. 3x.
Yeah, no, I've never liked roll 4d6, drop the lowest, and then but rolled them in order. Rolling in order is the suckiest thing ever.
That's not what I'm suggesting. A 5e balanced stat system would be like 2d8, drop the lowest, add 7, would generate an average, or generate stats between 8 and 15, which is what the default.
Yeah, no, I am perfectly willing to let you have a 5 or to let you have an 18.
Right, and that's fine. I'm just,
I mean, I would really recommend if you actually roll a 4 or a 3 that you re-roll no matter what else you have, unless everything else is 18s.
Unless you really, really want to have that peg leg, and some people think that is part of the fun of the game. By all means.
Well, I mean, it is part of the fun of the game, and like, if you can think of a good reason for your 3, or a stat that you really want to lean into as a role-playing opportunity to be bad at, like a strength of 3 would be really interesting to play.
I don't subscribe to the concept that anyone else's fun is wrong. I do, however, in my own head, canon, see that very few events that have super duper low stats because you're supposed to be heroic.
Well, for example, one of the players rolled an 18 and a 5, and they're thinking of going with that set because they're playing a warlock, and they're thinking that an 18 charisma and a 5, an 18 charisma and a 5 wisdom is basically Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove.
Okay, sure. Yeah. It's a super likable person who
is dumb as who is not very smart.
Yeah, kind of box of rocks intelligence. Well, not so much intelligence, but decision judging. So I guess that's 5 fights down. I didn't even notice the time go by. So
and then for creation, we're doing all published. Check with me if you want to try Unearthed Arcana. I'm not against it. I just want to know that I have to prep for it.
Yeah.
And anything in the Tal'Dorei campaign setting.
Well, I know that one of the DMs who prefers, I believe, the Unearthed Arcana Ranger.
Oh yeah, no, I am fully. I do not ascribe to the PHB Ranger being the canonical Ranger.
Right.
The revised Ranger is the real Ranger, and the PHB is wrong. Right. They really need to fix that printing error.
And I, as a player who does emphasize optimization, I appreciate that, because the main issue I find with Ranger is that the chassis is just poorly designed. The spell list is amazing, but most of what you can do with a Ranger is better and sooner with a Bard.
Except for Hunter's Mark. And the amazing arrow spells.
Hunter's Mark and the amazing arrow spells are absolutely what you would take with a Valor Bard if you were so inclined to.
Yes, but a Valor Bard means that you don't get those magical secrets until 10.
It's true. But, so Hunter's Mark you don't get sooner. But a lot of them...
But it's true, at 10 you could then magical secrets all of the amazing archery really, spells.
Really crazy.
Lightning Arrow, Thorn, Conjure Barrage...
Yeah, precisely what I'm talking about.
Hail of Thorns is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. Plus spells like Swift River, the Guardian of Nature, all the big boy Ranger spells.
Oh yeah, like Conjure Barrage or Conjure Volley.
Right. Which on a Ranger you get so late that they're not very good.
But as a 10th level Bard, that's still when those spells have... Yeah. Like, Rangers get them so late that what Rangers become our crowd control.
Yeah.
Are there a bunch of ads in this fight? Then your big spells will probably take out all the ads.
Yeah. Which isn't really
bad.
It isn't what you expect out of it,
No.
It's not what's written on the can for Ranger. Ranger's expected to be sort of a, They do get the woodsy stuff, but they're also expected to be somewhat of a ruthless kind of character.
Yeah, I mean, I never liked that they removed the fact that your favorite enemies did extra things in combat.
Yeah.
Like, you have dedicated your life to hunting these things.
Yeah.
You really should get some perks out of that for killing those things.
In 5e, though, they're very much this is a non-combat.
Yep, until you get to the revised Ranger, and then you get extra damage dice.
Yeah, which is pretty solid. So
I mean, it's not a huge extra damage dice. It's basically just you always have a permanent Hunter's Mark on your favorite enemy. It's an extra d6.
Which is nothing to sneeze at.
No, because then you can add your actual Hunter's Mark.
And when you're a two-weapon fighter, which a
That's
lot of
to
people
every
want to
hit.
be, right? Unlike, say, rogues who, attack around in 5e.
Yeah. This fight doesn't seem much harder than its original version. Just longer.
Right. That's exactly it. They have a lot more hit points than they originally.
But they're not really much faster. More of them don't spawn at the same time.
No. It's strictly they have a lot more hit points. They are usually they're a fight that is stopped from more than once. If I don't get cocky or just fidgety, this is usually a fight that goes well for me. I've practiced it for this reason. This is definitely outside the purview of anyone can play. I consider the Pantheon of the Night to be one of the hardest games in the game. Dave Baby does it taller, but it's still difficult. It's probably going to call me fail almost, and that's okay. And to be real clear to anyone listening, I have practiced this fight a lot, and I've practiced the previous fights in Pantheon a lot because they're pretty much all hard. And I'm going to heal
No, because this guy's a bastard. He just teleports all over the field. As soon as you think you've dodged him, he teleports again and continues his attack.
Yeah, and he has projectiles that track.
And you can't even run them into him.
No, exactly.
Which again, I think is cheating. As soon as they have tracking projectiles, you should be able to hit them with their projectiles.
I don't disagree that that would be awesome. That's not how this game is. Friendly fire against yourself kind of thing. Closest thing to it would be the knight being able to descend into their own, to use their own spell to rapidly descend to spikes, or to, of course, throw yourself into spikes. I love to do.
Bless you, Jan.
Yes, that was my wife sneezing. It's okay. We also didn't pick up the baby, which is awesome. There's a sleeping baby in the room while we record this one, because we decided that the bed isn't working to keep his naps going. I get my voice. Every bit as good, if not better.
Is this the portion where you just have to hit him once?
No, that's the radiance.
No, I meant... I thought that was his final mode where he tries to face crush you, but he's just one hit away from dead.
No, the only boss that has that feature are all. So, I don't know. Often, these ones can very suddenly, really in the Soul Master rather than Soul Pirate. So here we are. I don't know if you've seen the Pale Vessel yet.
No, I haven't.
So like Nightmare King Grim kind of fight, only worse. Oh, I'm facing the wrong way.
His nail is so long.
Yeah, and he does that, which is I'm so dead.
Yes, you are super dead.
So yeah, that is the Pale Vessel. I think what I'm gonna do, since I'm not struggling with getting to him, I think I'm gonna practice.
Because you can.
Yeah. Once you've encountered any of the bosses in the game, they become available here in the Hall of Gods. So, which is super neat for. So aside from the bosses that you know about, there's levers and things like that to fight the harder versions of. So once you encounter flying Nosk, Wing Nosk, you can flick a lever here, but I haven't encountered Wing Nosk. The only way I've been able to fight Wing Nosk or the Sisters of Battle has been by starting up a God Seeker mode game. So there's my Pale Vessel there. So by starting up by defeating the first 3 Pantheons, including these 3 bosses here, you unlock God Seeker mode, and then you can actually fight all the bosses, including the hard to access bosses, like Wing Nosk and Pale Vessel here if you wanted to practice, and the Sisters of Battle, which I really recommend. I might do a Sisters of Battle video at some point. I'm going to have to erase one of the games to do that, though, because unless I get to Pantheon. just a higher intensity version of the Mana Swords. More hit
Yeah.
points, and you fight all 3 of them at once instead of just 2.
I think you told me that before.
Yeah. No, I only get 1 heal in there safely. That cost me.
You may want to add the charm where you can heal 2 masks at once.
The problem with that charm is it actually takes twice as long to heal.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's not terrible advice. But
Because every one of his hits is 2 masks.
right. So what might be better than that? It's not quite twice as long, but it's like 1.8 times as long to heal. What might be better than that is the charm that lets you heal faster, but that costs 3 notches. So I think the better thing to do is just get good. Practice.
Well, you're getting better about dodging the flying daggers.
Right, and this is a boss you only fight here, right? So it's not like I have a ton of practice against this boss. I think you could... No, you don't have time in there to heal. You would with quick focus.
With quick heal, but that's...
Yeah. He just basically blew himself up. Not really. His own focus ability, which doesn't actually heal him, it just looks like it might, generates a shield around him, which causes
does a bunch of damage to you.
Well, yeah, causes 2 massive damage. So you don't want to stand in that, and I did. I was just in the wrong place. The bane of my existence, floor spikes.
Yep, and floor spikes for 2 masks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good at floor spikes in platforms, and I might not in combat. But this one's
Well, yeah, it's because floor spikes in platforming are based on movement, but floor spikes in combat are based on stopping and standing in the right spot.
You can heal one here if you time it right. Unfortunately, I didn't. I had him pretty close, I would say. I wouldn't say half, because he starts doing this.
You staggered him at least once, though.
I staggered him twice. So what happens here is, you know you're getting close to dead below half when he starts attacking these like void tendrils. I have defeated the pure vessel before, but never actually at the end of the Pantheon. Because basically the only way for me to beat the pure vessel is super in the zone and practice every attack, learn to dodge them all. You can actually pogo during the floor spikes if you're in the right location. It's a great time to get some damage in. You just need to be in the right spot. So, do we have anyone committed? So we've got a warlock committed potentially.
One of the other players is debating between monk and sorcerer.
Right.
Because they've never been able to play either of those classes at the high level of 12.
Now, okay, so that would probably be a DPS build, DPR build, whatever you want to call it. The warlock, what sort of role do you think they're for warlock? Do you have any idea?
They're looking at the Unearthed Arcana for basically your patron is a kraken.
Okay.
So they have field control because they can create tentacles on the field.
Which
that
does
smash things and attack things, and grapple things, and can pull allies out of danger. And
I'm a big fan of field control. It's nice to have it in the party.
I'm not entirely sure how many of those tentacle abilities he has at 12, because it is an Unearthed Arcana, and I've only just been... I think he'll be missing one of them, because 14 is where you get your last pact ability.
Right.
Or patron ability.
Generally speaking, your best one.
Yes.
Okay.
which might be the one where he can just grab people out of danger with no attacks of opportunity, and also smack the thing that has them in danger, breaking grapples or anything like it.
Nice.
Because what can really resist the tentacle of a Kraken?
I mean, things, but...
Level 20 characters quite regularly, actually, but...
yeah. Okay, so that's interesting.
I'm pulling it up now so that I can remind myself what he has, so that you understand what he has for field control. Let's see. The Lurker in the Deep.
Hearing this does make me somewhat tempted to play a cleric. But you know me, I'm not going to play a cleric as the dedicated healer. I mean,
I would in fact suggest if you play a cleric that you take a look at the Unearthed Arcana Twilight Cleric.
Okay, that's
it's a cleric all about being the guiding light in darkness. You gain dark vision with no limit.
What?
And you can share that dark vision with other people for 10 minutes at a time.
Wow.
You are all about stopping fear and proving that when you are with other people, there's nothing to be afraid of in the dark.
Oh, wow. This is...
Yeah, no, it's beautifully themed, and I love all the abilities in it.
It sounds exciting, both mechanically and thematically.
Yeah. Okay, so Grasp of the Deep. At first level, you gain the ability to magically summon a spectral tentacle that strikes at your foes. 10 foot long and tentacle, so it has reach of 10 feet. And it appears within 60 feet of you. Other than that, it's basically a spiritual weapon that can do either cold or lightning damage instead of force.
Neat.
And then its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. When you reach the 10th level, so this warlock will have that, the damage dealt by the tentacle increases to 2d8. And as bonus action on your turn, you can move the tentacle up to 30 feet and repeat the attack.
Okay. That's,
You can summon the tentacle a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So it's a warlock ability that resets on a long.
How much damage does the tentacle do on a round, or does it...
2d8 cold or lightning
2d8
by the time you hit 10th level.
Okay, so it does scale.
Yes, it scales exactly that once. It's 1d8 until you hit 10th, then it's 2d8 for the last half of the 20 levels.
Okay.
They also have telepathic communication with any aberration, beast, elemental, or monstrosity with an innate swimming speed that is within 120 feet.
Interesting.
So they have fish telepathy.
Yeah.
Fathomless Soul. At 6th level, your patron grants you greater abilities. You gain the following benefits. You can breathe both air and water, and your tentacle can defend you and others, while you or a creature you can see takes damage while within 10 feet of the tentacle. You can use your reaction to choose one of those creatures and reduce the damage to the chosen creature by half. After doing so, the tentacle vanishes. Mm-hmm. So you could half a crit that way, and sure, you'd lose the tentacle, but crits are bad, okay?
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Anything that reduces the damage or negates a crit is awesome.
And then Devouring Maw is the 10th level, which would be the last one that this warlock has access to start. Starting at 10th level, you can magically draw forth the manifestation of your patron's insatiable hunger. As an action, choose a point you can see within 60 feet of you. For 1 minute, a translucent maw manifests in a 10-foot radius centered on that point. Each creature in that area, when the maw appears, must succeed on a strength saving throw against your spell save DC, or be restrained. Any creature that starts its turn in the maw's area takes 3d6 cold or lightning damage, your choice when it takes the damage. As an action, a restrained creature can repeat the saving throw, ending the restraint on a success. At the start of your turn, if there is a creature in the maw's area, you gain temporary hit points equal to your warlock level.
Nice.
And that one recharges on short or long rest.
Nice. I'm a fan. I like anything that does like areas like that, so and it seems to be well designed, well balanced.
Yep.
For the level.
And then the 14th level ability, which is only 2 levels away for this character, so it's a thing I should know about. At 14th level, you gain the ability to call upon your patron for aid as an action. You choose a point within 30 feet of you where your patron tears through reality, manifesting a measure of its thoracic grandeur. Choose one of the following effects to issue from this manifestation point. Once you use either effect, you can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. One ability is Transport. You and up to 5 willing creatures of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of the manifestation point are grasped by spectral tentacles and yanked through your patron's realm. The tentacles teleport you and the chosen creature to a point of your choice within 100 miles that you have visited within the past 24 hours. So it's a fast travel.
Yeah. Well, it's a fast escape, even.
Yes. Or, we were in town yesterday. We're all near dead. I still have this in my tank. Let's just go back to town.
So I learned a thing here. You cannot gain anything from dream nailing the pure vessel.
At any point?
I got him during a stagger, and I didn't get any soul. I didn't get any dialogue. There was nothing to be in for it.
I guess he has no soul left.
That's something he never had a soul. He's a vessel.
He has no soul, and he has no dreams. The nail can touch nothing.
Right.
And then the other ability is Fury. You direct a barrage of spectral tentacles to issue forth and strike up to 5 creatures you can see within 30 feet of the manifestation point. Each target must make a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the creature takes 60-10 cold or lightning damage, your choice, and is knocked prone. On a successful save, half as much damage is knocked prone, and then the tentacles vanish. So you can either do a teleport or a big-ass attack.
I'm seeing if I make a cleric. I'm not totally committed on the type of cleric yet. I'm thinking if we're going to roll 12, I don't have to be very unique, or I could do whatever I want. But I was thinking of making a ritual caster, wizard cleric, and I was thinking between nature most likely, but I might look into this. Was it dawn? You said
Twilight.
Nothing to fear itself. I do like the idea.
Here, I'll pull up some of the abilities. Twilight Cleric 5e. Because it's a domain that I was introduced to recently, and it is sexy as all hell.
It is.
So you're one of the clerics that has proficiency with martial weapons and heavy armor, which is always a cleric type that I know you like, because then you're not stuck being the mobile first aid medic.
I mean, it's one of the things that attracts me with the nature cleric.
Yeah. Eyes of Night. Your eyes are blessed, allowing you to see through the deepest gloom. You have dark vision with no maximum range. You can see in dim light as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it was dim light. So you never even have the everything's gray.
I reached the, see that? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
The void tentacles.
As an action, you can magically give the benefit of this feature to any number of creatures you can see within 10 feet of you. This shared benefit lasts for 10 minutes. You can extend this benefit a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
Nice.
Vigilant Blessing.
And you can have more than one instance of it active at a time.
Well, you can share with, as an action, you can apply to any creatures within 10 feet of you. So, I mean, you can get the whole party within 10 feet of you.
Oh, with a single use. Wild.
Yeah. Basically, you use it once as an action, and the whole party has dark vision.
Like, great dark
for 10 minutes.
Too. So, one of the big advantages to not being human, or half, is dark vision.
Yeah.
Wow. So, maybe I do go.
You could play absolutely any race. You could play with one of the really interesting ones that doesn't get dark vision but is really interesting as a concept, and still have the benefit. Vigilant Blessing. So you know how Trickster Domain clerics...
I really like it, and I've never played one. Maybe. Anyway.
You know how Trickster clerics get the ability to grant the Blessing of the Trickster advantage on stealth checks?
Yeah.
So the Twilight Domain has Vigilant Blessing. It's advantage on initiative rolls. The next advantage roll that the creature makes. So if you have a rogue that stealths ahead a lot, and is good at the stealthing ahead part, but might kick off a combat, you can give them advantage if they're, say, an assassin.
Well, anyone really, but an assassin, of course, benefits from...
Because if the assassin keeps the surprise condition on the creature, they get to do all of their crazy assassin shit. Channel Divinity at 2nd level is called Twilight Sanctuary. You create a sphere of twilight that emanates from you. It's centered on you, has a 30-foot radius, and is filled with dim light. The sphere moves with you, and it lasts for 1 minute or until you are incapacitated. Whenever a creature, including you, ends its turn in the sphere, you can grant that creature one of these benefits. They can gain 1d8 temporary hit points, or end one effect causing it to be charmed or frightened. So your Channel Divinity is a 1d8 temp hit point refresher that also can cancel Charm or Frighten in a 30-foot radius.
Yeah, it's like a non-concentration version of Heroism, which isn't even a cleric spell by default. That's cool.
Then Step of the Brave is your 6th level Twilight domain feature. You draw strength from your connection to Twilight and find yourself at home within its dark embrace, gaining 2 benefits. You have advantage on saving throws against being frightened, as any creature that's all about fighting fear should.
Yeah.
And if you are in dim light or darkness, you can use a bonus action to magically give yourself a flying speed equal to your walking speed until the end of your next turn.
Nice.
Divine Strike at 8th level.
Sorry, flying as a Channel Divinity?
No, it's not Channel Divinity. It's something you can do as a bonus action in dim light or darkness.
Oh.
You gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed until the end of your next turn.
For how long? Like, how often can you do it? Sorry?
At will.
At will. As a bonus action?
Yes.
Wow.
Exclusively when you're in dim light or darkness.
Which is often enough if you're dungeoneering or, adventuring at night or in the woods.
Yeah.
Huh.
At level 8, Divine Strike, you gain the ability to infuse your weapon strikes with divine energy once on each of your turns. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can cause the attack to deal an extra 1d8 psychic damage.
Huh.
At 14th level, that'll scale to 2d8. And then the final Twilight domain ability is at 17. You can harness the shrouding power of night to protect your allies and stimmy your foe. Whenever you cast the darkness spell using a spell slot, you can choose a number of creatures that you can see, including yourself, equal to your wisdom modifier. The chosen creatures can see through the magical darkness.
Nice. Wow.
So you can grant Devil's Sight on your darkness spell to up to your wisdom modifier people.
And it's because it's not actually a spell, it's not concentration.
Well, you're concentrating on the darkness spell because you're casting darkness.
So, sorry, you are casting the darkness spell. It's not just creating a darkness effect.
That is correct. You are casting the darkness spell, but you, unlike everyone else, can modify that darkness spell to say how many people can see through the magical darkness.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's more than even warlocks can do. They can only just make magical darkness that they can see through.
Or shadow sorcerers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Because at that point, when you're a 17th level Twilight Cleric, what you're really saying is, no, the darkness should be afraid of me.
Yeah. You become a master of. I like it.
So yeah, that's the Twilight Cleric. It's a really interesting domain. I'm super into it.
I'd also have to look at the spell list if you wanted to rattle some of that off. I'm curious.
Sure, I'll tell you what you get automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
Your domain spells.
Yep.
First level are Fairy Fire and Sleep.
I like it.
Third level are Darkness and Invisibility.
Darkness and
Aura of Vitality and Leomin's Tiny Hut for your 5ths. Aura of Life and Greater Invisibility for your 7ths. And Circle of Power and Dream for your 9ths.
Sorry, back me up to 3rd level spells again?
Darkness and Invisibility.
That was at 3rd level.
Yeah, Cleric level, 3rd level. And at Cleric level, 5th level, you gain Aura of Vitality and Tiny Hut. At 7th level, you gain Aura of Life and Greater Invisibility.
Aura of Light and Greater Invisibility, okay. And then what was the final?
Circle of Power and Dream.
Huh. That is quite the hefty list.
Yeah. To have automatically prepared all the time.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking at the 1st level, and I know we're starting at 12th, so the spells aren't necessarily great for me, but wow, Sleep and Fairy Fire are not small things to give a cleric.
No.
Like, both of those spells are pretty potent, and
well, as 1st levels go, like, throwing a Fairy Fire down and concentrating on that is just as good as throwing a Bless down and concentrating on that. Sleep's not so great at the level that you're at, but
no, not at all. But still a good spell. And to always have it, not have to commit anything to it, it can still come in handy at high levels.
Oh, Circle of Power is dirty.
Yes, it is.
Until the spell ends, the sphere moves with you, centered on you, for the duration. Each friendly creature in the area, including you, has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. And if you make it succeed on the saving throw against the spell and magical effect, and that spell allows for the saving throw to take only half damage, you evasion it instead. You take no damage.
Yeah, which includes things that aren't just dex saves. Anything that would say half damage. Not reduced or not, save for partial. But specifically half.
But I mean, that means that you could no-sell a Meteor Swarm.
Yep.
That's a hell of a spell to no-swarm, or to no-sell.
Yep.
Aura of Life is another spell I haven't seen that often.
It's a neat spell, for sure. I believe it's a paladin spell normally.
Another 30-foot radius. Each non-hostile creature in the aura, including you, has resistance to necrotic, and its hit point maximum can't be reduced. In addition, a non-hostile living creature regains 1 hit point when it starts its turn in the aura with 0 hit points.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make death saving throws while in the aura. You're automatically brought back up to 1 if you're knocked to 0, and start your turn there.
So where it's really good, obviously, is any kind of
vampire foes
or vampire, or any shade kind of creature that is reducing your hit point max, or dealing necrotic damage.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, the Twilight Domain Cleric it kind of looks like, well, you could definitely theme it as a spellcasting focused paladin.
Yeah.
They have the heavy armor, they have the martial weapons, but instead of learning how to attack faster and smite things with power, they're a defender type. They've got all the spells necessary to fight the scary things in the dark. Ooh, multi-classing would be dirty too, because then you'd have smite and all those cleric levels of spell levels to smite with.
Yeah, I just in general don't love the mad that comes with being a cleric paladin, but depending on your roles,
wisdom charisma is a hard combo.
Yeah. However, I'm pretty sold on being a single class version of this cleric.
And the last aura spell is Vitality. Again, a paladin spell. Healing energy radiates from you in an aura within 30 feet. You can use a bonus action to cause one creature in the aura, including you, to regain 2d6 hit points. Well, that's way better than Healing Word.
Well, I mean, it's a concentration, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still way better than Healing Word. If you're not sure what to be concentrating on in a given fight, and it's things that you're fighting you a lot, that's not a terrible deal.
No, it's I like Aura of Vitality a little more, because it's also reducing incoming damage, but it's more circumstantial. It's more of we're fighting things that do necrotic.
Yes. And you mean Aura of Life, because Aura of Vitality is the 2d6.
Right, sorry. Aura of Life. It's protection from a pretty common energy type, and that's good because it covers the whole party, and it can cover like NPCs that were friendly.
Yeah. Like the 2d6 just healing people is never a bad thing to have on hand, because your bonus action is not always consumed by much. I mean, sure, as a cleric, it's probably consumed by spiritual weapon, but
right. That's where I was going with that.
It doesn't have to be.
Nope.
Especially if, for example, you're fighting a Rakshasa.
Who is immune to
like, you either have to cast your spiritual weapon at a redonkulously high spell level to remove its immunity, or you have to just kind of be like, okay, I'm going to be playing healer in the background here. I'm going to be throwing stuff at him with big boom damage. Because you can have big boom damage spells that are better than just what the 6th level spiritual weapon would get you, which I think is just 3d8 plus your wisdom modifier.
Yeah, every turn. But yeah.
Yeah.
As a bonus action, no
on
concentration.
A hit. Yeah. But on a hit.
I know.
And I mean, actually, there's nothing saying you can't do both and then just make decisions each round.
Right.
Because there's no concentration on the spiritual weapon.
Right.
Because Rakshasas hit for hard.
Yeah. Which means the 2d6 isn't necessarily fantastic, but what it is picking someone up from the ground if they were otherwise, put there by the Rakshasa.
Yes, without using your bonus, without having to use a spell slot that you might have to use for.
Although you've already committed
yeah.
a 5th level spell slot to it.
Well, no, you've committed. Oh wait, have you? Is it that high of a level?
I think it was.
Aura of Life or Aura of Vitality? No, that's a 3rd level.
Oh, it's a 3rd. What one is Aura of Life then? Is that the higher level one?
Aura of Life is the 4th level that is safety from vampires and draining thingies.
Yeah.
And then Circle of Power is the 5th level that is fuck you spellcasters.
Yeah. Remember
all
that,
of which are traditionally paladin spells.
Yeah. Remember that the
which
aura,
is why I've never seen them, because I've never gotten a paladin that high.
Remember also that the Aura of Vitality, which protects against the necrotic damage and stuff, is also a an automatic pickup for people reduced to 0.
Yes. The Aura of Life.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's using a 4th level. If that's the only effect you're using it for, that's using a 4th level spell for always bringing people back with 1 hit point.
Yeah. But 1 hit point is better than 0.
Well, yes. It's just really saying everybody's death saving throw on the first round is a 20.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a small deal. But I'm not saying I'd always be using that spell, but it's one of those things of if you've got the necrotic damage factor already in there, it becomes that, oh wow, this is so good. If you're getting wrecked by something that has effectively area necrotic damage, then it's pretty much if you have that option, use it. This guy is hard. And I think that to the audience obvious. I should be more careful about that parry ability and not trigger it, but man, I like to hit. That was a stagger that I almost didn't catch. Oh, dead again. Yeah, I'm definitely liking the spell list though, like the fact that there's any discussion to be had about it. And Liam's Tiny Hut made that list, like, woof.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I like to go Ritual Caster Wizard. And I'm not saying I won't, because there's still lots of other cool wizard rituals that you can get access to.
Yeah, but if you have a wizard, then you probably don't need to.
Oh yeah, it depends on if the party has a wizard or not. If the party does not, then I'll happily take Ritual Caster Wizard.
So the first adventure, which is going to be that map from the Infinite Dungeon,
right? That map
is the river. The adventure is you have been hired in the city of Whitestone to deliver a payload of black powder to destroy a dam that is behind which is a fortified horde of I haven't decided of what yet. But of bad guys.
Right.
The river itself, the easiest way to get the payload there is, of course, taking the black powder down the river to the dam. But the river itself has dangers along it.
Of course. Dangers that, unless specified, probably don't worry a 12th level party.
No. That will be a challenge to a 12th level party.
Oh, I understand that in a metagame sense. But like without metagaming, generally speaking, a 12th level party, unless dangers have been made very clear to be a threat to them, they'll shrug off as dangers. Not a big deal.
Yep. Well, I mean, some of the dangers are known to be environmental, so those ones you have to be concerned about regardless.
Yeah, to a point. Like things that cause exhaustion, for example, are costly of resources.
Or things that will be difficult for your boat to traverse.
Yeah. drowning can kill anyone.
And because you need to not lose these barrels of black powder.
That's true too. So
I am going to make it possible for you to lose the payload or portions of the payload.
Failure should be an option aside from death. I like it.
And I mean, depending on how much of the payload you get down to the dam, your secondary requirement is if you can't destroy the dam, you have to destroy the horde, and they're in a fortified location.
So if you don't successfully get the payload where it's going to go, there's now an optional fight.
Yes.
I'm glad I'm practicing the pure vessel, to be honest, because apparently I was nowhere where I needed to be to fight him.
No, you are having some troubles.
Yep. I've gotta keep a closer eye on his nail. His nail is the telegraph.
Yes.
If he puts his nail up in front of him, just back off or turn away.
Yeah, you really need to not hit him when he's setting up his parry.
Yeah.
Because you have not figured out a dodge for that.
Often enough I do get past it with the Shadow Dash, but it's not every time.
And every time that he hits you, you are not recovering.
Yeah.
Because you cannot recover. You are at best mitigating damage by having what he's already done to you on his last hit.
Exactly. I know that this is one of those fights where people have done like pet builds and just focused on dodging. I'm not that good at dodging. Oh, that was bad. And that's one of those, like, you gamble if you decide to heal during that. Like, maybe you don't end up with one of the secondary orbs on you, but maybe you do.
You might want to seriously consider adding that quick heal charm.
I don't know. I would have to give up possibly Mark of Pride for it, which, yeah, maybe. I don't know how much advantage of Mark of Pride. Here's the thing to keep in mind with those. Every time you see that, like, sort of lag frame, impact sound, clink clink, that's a parry. Yep. And it's quite possible Mark of Pride is responsible for that parry. So I think I just need to better understand his patterns and dodge them and not waste my spells on trying to iframe dodge the wrong thing. But it's mostly just going to be a practice thing. I know that when he does almost any of his nail-based attacks, you can dodge it by using Descending Dark. And I'm getting into that habit rather than throwing. I've been throwing the Vengeful Spirit at him. I think that'll make him big. And then it's just got to be when he does his throw attack, figuring the timing out on that one right, and that's going to happen. Doing this instead of what I've been doing. That was not great, but it was neat. Do that. It's funny because you can, regardless of whether you're above them or not, you can climb the spikes by down slashing, which might be one of the better ways for me to avoid them.
Well, that means that even if you're not in the right spot, as long as you're down slashing, you'll just keep going up.
Which maybe provides some sort of tactical advantage and makes it less likely to get hit by spikes. So we'll practice that. See how it goes. Yeah, so if I do go with a Twilight Cleric, that would be interesting. Like I say, maybe not Ritual Caster, maybe not Ghost 5 Halfling. Oof. Halflings are a race I like, but I feel that largely 5e done dirty with the lack of dark vision.
I mean, I'm pretty fond of gnomes,
Yeah.
but that's a me thing.
Gnomes are also like a heavily underrated race. They're the resistance to saves.
Yeah.
Really good. Like their mental saves all are at advantage. Like, are you for real? And I think clerics are proficient in wisdom and I want to say charisma saves.
I think so.
So that's like 2 saves you're proficient in are also being made at advantage. Is there a let's say whiz con gnome?
I'm checking.
I know there's a whiz con dwarf. That's what I was playing at the start of the last campaign. Darn. Indeed.
Alright. Gnomes. Let's see. Gnomes. All gnomes get a +2 to intelligence.
Intelligence, right?
Forest gnomes gain dex. Rock gnomes gain con.
Yeah.
Svirfneblins gain an additional dex.
Yeah.
Deep gnomes have a +1 to dex. They're identical to forest gnomes, but they get dark vision.
Yeah.
And they have gnome comment, and then
Don't all gnomes
you
get dark vision? But do gnomes get better dark vision?
Yes, they get superior. They get 120 feet.
Yeah.
And then gnome cunning is the advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws against magic.
Yeah. Against magic. Okay.
To be fair, not a lot of things do intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saves that aren't magic.
That's fair. Oh. Yeah, I think we're gonna end the video there. I'm gonna go back to practicing this guy on my own time, and we'll see if I can't get him down. And then once I have Pure Vessel locked down, because it's gonna take some practice from the looks of it, I'll try the Pantheon of the night again.
And I'll be here to cheer you on.
And talk D&D stuff, which honestly, if people think otherwise, that probably helps my focus. I think that was demonstrable by the how well I did the Pantheon of the night.
Yeah, no, because it gives the part of your brain that's not concentrating on the game something to focus on.
Yeah.
That you know backwards and forwards.
Yeah, exactly. I do a lot of memorization of D&D stuff already, so it's not committing a whole lot of, oh, I need to think heavily about that. Yeah, and as charms go, I don't know if I change anything. Shaman Stone could be good, but if I trade anything for it, maybe Quick Slash, but I do feel like Quick Slash puts work in here. I feel like
well, you certainly get more hits in, but
yeah. Mark of Pride, maybe. I don't know. I'll get back to it. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. At least I got to the Pure Vessel, right? We'll see you next time.
bye-bye.